doing something. I had to get him off of arguing with ChatGPT. He starts arguing with ChatGPT every day. What's he arguing about today? How many cubes of ice to put into a glass to drink a Diet Coke? Now think about that. Should it be 5 cubes or 3 cubes? Is it too much? Does it melt? Does it dilute the Diet Coke?
Right.
Only Dr. V would think down to those types of just all in micros. I can't think that deep. This man is a deep thinker. But I say, and you know the best part about it is he beat ChatGPT again. He does it every time. Spartacus, what you doing? He does it every time. And not only that, he taught ChatGPT some lines to use. He's going to throw at us later today. And now ChatGPT is using it, and they should be giving the Volps credit for it. But they go back and forth. It's like a quarreling couple. I've never seen anything like this. ChatGPT and the Volps.
I'm just trying to teach ChatGPT. That's all. I'm just a teacher.
It's a quarreling couple, the professor and the other. Giuseppe, what are we going to do here? Okay, let's start going on.
Good morning, Spartacus.
Good morning. It's unfortunately it's not a good morning on what's happening out there. We're going to be starting.
Guillermo's here. This is great.
Guillermo, what you doing, Guillermo?
We got the crew.
I'm now going to hit the part that I've been screaming about since December when I started talking about Mayor Adams, when he made the deal with the government, he got out of being indicted and everything because he was going to help the government. And I said to Joe at that time and to everybody out here, I said, rule of law is pretty much in trouble now when you could just say who you call up to be able to get the deal done for you, okay? Joe said, we'll see, research, which is so important, but unfortunately it's long-term. It doesn't affect now unless we had something that was really happening right now. So then that happens. Then all of a sudden we start hearing about people being thrown out in the air, ignoring court orders. And I start saying, a while back, it sounds to me like he's going to start throwing out Americans. Didn't I say that, Dr. V? I said, what are we going to do? That. He's going to throw out Americans.
And you know what they said in the chat?
What?
No way. They said, no way. There you go. Trump derangement syndrome. Making up stuff. Right. He's not going to do that. He's only throwing out the M13 guys, the criminals.
That's all he's doing. So he goes in and that's all he's going to do. And he's fighting with the courts And so suddenly he says, well, maybe I'll throw out some people who kill 85-year-old grandmothers. That's another good reason to do it. But then we find out today or yesterday that 3 American children have been thrown out of the country. Donald Trump's administration has thrown it, apparently has thrown 3 American children out of America. Think about that.
That's not possible. How did this come about?
Well, they picked up the mother. The mother had to go in and check in wherever she's checking in, and she brings her 3 kids in. She must not have her papers or whatever. And they say, you're out of here. And they say, the mother says she wanted the 3 children, 2, 4, and 7, to go with her. Okay? Remember, these are Americans. So she takes the 2, 4, and 7, and the government, we find out suddenly that the kids are in Venezuela. I think Venezuela or Argentina. It's one of the places there, one South American nation. And they just sent them there. Not only that, one of the kids has stage 4 cancer, Dr. V. This American child has stage 4 cancer. We have sent out, so now the argument by the government is, well, when ICE picked her up, well, she wanted to take him with her because, it was her decision.
Wait a second, did child has stage 4 cancer, is probably getting the best medical care in the world.
Right.
And they're going to send her to a country that she doesn't know who the doctors are. They don't know how to treat her child. She's going to say, I want the child with me?
Right. Exactly, Dr. V. I'm just going to take her with me. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl. I'm just going to take her with me, okay? Because I have to. Then we find out there's a father involved. The father says, I wanted to keep the kids here. And the father tried to talk to the mother before she took off, but ICE cut him off, according to his statements. So he couldn't say anything to her about getting a lawyer or getting anything. So it appears that they just picked her up, put her and these kids on a plane, and shipped them out of the country and took 3 American citizens. 3 American citizens. Think about this. It is horrible. The Trump administration has taken 3 American citizens and thrown them out of this country and blamed the mother. And one of them has stage 4 cancer. Think about this. Go ahead, Dr. V.
Explain this to me. What was the emergency that they had to deport this woman immediately instead of?
They won't tell you.
Was she ready to kill American citizens? Was she a MS-13? And what was so critical that they had to do this immediately? This is just.
Well, they won't tell you now. They got to figure it out to give you the BS that they're going to put in the background and tell you about this. The bottom line is the Trump administration, there is no answer, Dr. V. They took 3 American kids. 3, we've been saying this for months and months. Good time. How are you? This is beyond anything. When an administration can just take Americans, Herm Dog, we love you. We love Canada too. When an administration, we're watching your election, we know it's happening. When an administration can just take citizens from the country of the United States, ecstasy, how are you? The United States, and throw them out. Think about it. I kept saying it. I kept hoping I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
Freedom.
What?
Where's freedom in this country? Do we not live in a free democratic country?
Think about this kid. He said, you're a 2-year-old. How are you going to get back into America? You're going to knock on the door and say, I'm a citizen? How are you going to prove you're a citizen? How's the 7-year-old going to prove they're a citizen? How about the 4-year-old? How about the one who isn't getting cancer treatment who could die? Let me ask you something. Stage 4, is that bad, Joe?
That's very bad. Yes,
cancer
it means it's
bad?
spread throughout your body.
I don't know.
It's spread throughout your body. Yeah.
Does that mean it's throughout your body?
It's spread throughout your body. Yes. Yeah.
Stephen, we haven't been dating. We've just been really good friends for 53 years, going on 54. So you look at this, and how can anybody in America? We are in bitter trouble, Lloyd. How can anybody in America count to this? How can you do that? You can't. You're taking American children and throwing them out. How many others have been thrown out that we don't know about? They just pick these people up. They go in, they get checked, they get put on the black masks. They put them on. I mean, Trump and everybody, the MAGA's always yelling about wearing masks. How come the ICE guys always wear masks? They always say you shouldn't wear a mask. Why are the ICE guys always wearing masks? See, you sit there for the 53rd date, Herm Dog, we're at 50, it'll be 54th, isn't it? We did 53. You kid, we pledged together, Herm Dog.
What is this? Since 1971, so.
Whew, God.
Yeah,
71, this is 20, what is this? It's 25? It's been 54 years. Oh, my Lord. Good, my Lord.
We met when we were 10.
They did, Herm Dog, they did an 800-person scoop up, and we know nothing about these people. We know nothing about who they scooped up. We just got lucky to find out that 3 Americans got thrown out. That's what it is. It's crazy ecstasy. We're doing good with you. Thumbs up, please. I just don't know why people don't get mad. It doesn't matter if you're MAGA. It doesn't matter if you're middle of the road. It doesn't matter if you're liberal. The idea of taking Americans and throwing them out of the country and blaming the mother, and one of them's got stage 4 cancer, is absolutely outrageous.
We've been talking about this, but they're taking away our freedom. This isn't United States of America anymore. This is something else. And, I understand people from the MAGA persuasion, if you will, that they want to, keep the border under control. They want to keep people safe. But this isn't keeping people safe. This is taking away our freedom, our democracy. I mean,
Sure it is. Go ahead.
if
Listen, Guillermo, let me hit Guillermo. I like what you're saying. Guillermo, they aren't the right to be here. They're Americans, Guillermo. These children are Americans, and the father was involved. And they didn't give her enough time to send the kids to the father or let the father pick them up or let the father say, I want them. These American citizens should have been here, but they didn't care because it goes deeper than this, Guillermo. And that's what I wanted to get to. This is a birthright issue. I'm convinced that as far as Trump's concerned and these guys, these kids aren't American citizens because they were here and their mother was illegal. Well, it doesn't appear the father is, but I'm not sure about that, but he seems to have the right to be here. And they just want to throw them out. But these are American citizens under the Constitution, unless the Supreme Court says otherwise. So that's what they're doing. They don't care. Yeah, you're right about that, AI. They just don't care. It is a birthright, but Guillermo, today it's still the law of the land, and they're not alleging it's birthright. It's the law of the land. Look at the Constitution. You're born here. You're an American. This kid's been here 7 years. Another one's 4 and 2. They're not illegal. They're Americans in America. And what we're doing is we're going backwards. It's the whole key we've been talking about. It's de-evolution. Devo, I keep apologizing to the group because the music is so good. I saw them twice in concert. But we're going back. We're snails with little tails. That's what we are. And we keep going back to what it used to be. These are kids who live in here. We're talking about 3 kids, A1, who got thrown out, American kids who got thrown out 2, 4, and 7. One of them was stage 4 cancer with their mother just put on a plane and sent out. They're no longer, I don't know how they can be American citizens anymore. How are you going to be able to prove it? MAGA, we're with you, 3D. Would you want your cousin thrown out? Would you want somebody you know as an American citizen thrown out? You wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah, he's honest.
That could be true. You never know. I hope not. Gosh, I hope not.
They're going to throw you out of the country, Mark.
Why do they care about us? They don't care about us. Guillermo, what would I have done? I wouldn't have put this mother on a plane in 1 hour or 2 hours and just shipped them out. I would have gotten in touch, let her get in touch with family in the country and say, take the kids if they wanted the kids. And they would have taken them. One's got stage 4 cancer. But they didn't let him do it, Guillermo. And the father was on the phone talking to her, and ICE cut him off, and he wanted the kids. So where's the problem? The problem is ICE just wanted to get her out. As Joe asked, what was the rush? Was she ready to come in and start killing somebody that minute? No, she had 3 kids with her.
I mean, this isn't about safety. This isn't about protecting American citizens. This is about being cruel and trying to make a point.
It's more than that. No, wrong. Being cruel's look, I love you. You're back to the morals again. He and I, we disagree. So morals are great, but there are no morals anymore. It's facts. You got to go with the law. The law is they're Americans. You don't just take Americans and throw them out. Hello from Uzbekistan. Yeah, they're horrible. Yeah, there's no morals. Yeah, they're nasty. Yeah, they're schmoes for doing this. No question, Dr. V. But the law is you don't just take American citizens and put them on a plane and throw them out. How do the kids can't prove that they're Americans to come back? They can't come back. That's what's happening, okay?
They had years to get legal. They were already legal. They were born in the United States. They're legal. What are you talking about?
Right. A18, what they're saying, this woman was an MS-13 buns. They don't make that. They make that allegation later. Sure haven't made it now. They just said they got her. She was illegal. She turned herself in. This wasn't them going after her. She turned herself in. They had years. No, they couldn't get legal. And she turned herself in, 3D, but it isn't they. 3 kids are Americans, 3D. Don't change the subject. What measures do you guys suggest? You let her have a lawyer or talk to somebody when you have kids that are American citizens. When it's American citizens, guys. If Uzbekistan sees this kind of stuff, we're not subsidizing Mexican families, the blacks. What are you talking about? These are 3 American children, my friend. 3 American children. That's the bottom line here. And they've taken one with stage 4 cancer and thrown him out. What if they did it with you, with your kids? What's BS? Don't believe the hype? It's not hype. It's a fact. It's a fact. 3 Americans. Joe, how would you like if they took your grandchildren and just threw it out?
Oh,
Luke,
that would
here
be,
goes Luke
that's
Thompson.
horrible.
Can't give us a good answer, so he's got to talk about gay this or gay that.
There
Look,
we go.
Luke, we got nothing against gay. If people are gay, right on. We're not talking about that issue here. We're talking about an issue of basic rights as an American to be able to live in your country without worrying about getting thrown out, and that's what's been happening, and they just did it. 3 American kids, okay? 3 Americans kids. Horrible. What's when the next kids do it? Herm dog, I ain't learned. I'm not leaving my country. I love my country, but it's just horrible. It's just horrible out there. It's just, what are you going to say? Joe, what do you say about somebody just picking up the kids and throwing them out?
We've lost our freedom in this country. You know, an American citizen can be picked up off the street and transported to another country without due process. You know, and you see this in a variety of domains that we're losing our freedom. We're losing academic freedom at the universities. We're losing freedom with the press. Uh, it's a systematic attack on American freedom, and I don't think that's what people voted for when they put Trump in charge. And is that what people really want? I can't believe that's what people really want. And I believe that there's a fraction of people out there who don't want this, and something has to be done about it. We need to stand up and call it out. We need to call out what's happening. It's not about safety. It's not about, that's a red herring. It's all about preserving, it's trying to prove that you have power and you can do it.
And break the
So
law.
the only morality is that they can do it, so they do it. It's about demonstrating that they are in a powerful position and they're
The
taking
strong
advantage of,
guys.
yes, and they're
Right.
taking advantage of people who are weak.
Sure.
Is that
Sure.
what we want in this country?
Mike, let me get to our friend Mike, who's been throwing a lot of stuff in here. And
All
Mike's
right.
our friend. Mike, we don't agree with you, but you've been our friend. And I appreciate you putting comments in. Mike, one of Mike's comments, Joe, while you were talking was, well, do you think the kids would rather be with the mother? And I'm sitting there thinking the kids were 2, 4, and 7, Mike. They're not old enough to make a decision. And the one that's got stage 4 cancer ain't even going to be thinking about that. You had a father who wanted to take him in. And adults should make decisions for kids who are 2, 4, and 7. And you say, I want to keep my citizenship and I want to stay where there are hospitals that hopefully aren't going to be defunded one day, where I can have my cancer dealt with. That's what happens. So Mike, that's where it is on that. It's not their decision. It's that. Okay? Come on, Eric. Horrible. Gorilla Balls does his things. No, Mike's, we're talking about American citizen, Myremex. We're talking about American citizens, my friend. It is insanity, Eric, that they're doing it. Really? Did you vote for Trump to throw out all Americans, my friend? Is that what it is? I ain't worried about growing dope. How do you guys have gray bushes? We don't have much. Well, I got some gray hair. I got a little bit of gray hair, but I think these guys are rather. Here we go. You see, once again, you guys are changing environmentalism. I'm right in the mosh pit, looking at this stuff, going, I'm letting it go. But hey, what are we talking about here, guys? You're missing it. This is an American getting thrown out. Forget all your this stuff about this guy and that guy and this. These are 3 Americans. BS becoming dangerous. I don't listen to you. So the bottom line, Gorilla, they're not illegal. So the bottom line is that these are 3 Americans who got thrown out. So you could call us any name you want. You could attack us. You could do all what you want. We're letting you do it there because I want to see. And they're following Donald. Maybe Trump's got to follow the law. Really? He's like a unicorn.
Better.
No, that's me. I love my art. Who knows? You got art and art, art and art. Okay, his son
drew
painted that, and it's beautiful. We love it. You can always get it, and that's just stuff
You're
I
right.
got
I
back
don't need
there.
to look like a unicorn. Thank you for the feedback.
We love it
Thank you.
from there. But no, Mike, the father didn't go with them. The father didn't know about it. The father got a telephone call. I don't even think he was in the area at that point. He got yes, they are citizens, Donald. He got a telephone call and he was on the phone talking to the mother, and the ICE cut him off. This is what the testimony is right now. ICE cut him off and then gone. So he couldn't do anything. He couldn't do anything at all. I'm with you, the blacks, not when they're Americans. Hey, mustaches are everywhere. Beards are everywhere. My wife doesn't like me without a mustache. George Carlin, he kind of did. Jason, comedian, Trump knows who I am. Good, Eric. Trump for deportation to El Salvador. Is that Mike? Here we go. Mike, I got
20
the bill. I'm
minutes.
hiding it here.
That was
They had
early.
years to
Usually it's
get
about
legal.
30 minutes. The
The
over under is 30
3D.
minutes.
What's 30 minutes?
The over under on somebody saying Mike Lindell.
Oh, well, it's done.
So we came in under
3D.
this week.
Right. 3D, the kids are legal. The 3 kids are legal. They're American citizens, 3D. That's it. That's it. You can't, you have to have a stake. You got to get involved, okay? George Carlin, elect dumb leaders. Well, that kind of happens. Rodney, am I hardly talking Trump? I haven't mentioned him personally. I think I said the Trump administration. They're throwing out Americans. Joe calls them citizens. I thought that was an important word. He was telling me before we came on, he's got lines for citizens. Are we citizens or are we what, Joe?
Are we just subjects to a king, or are we
Right.
free citizens? That's the
There it
point.
goes.
And
That's
that's the question. That's the question here today. And I'd be curious to get people's perspective. So far, what I'm hearing is throw out the M13 people and that sort of thing. We're not debating that. We're talking about if you're a legal citizen, does the government have a right to throw you out of the country?
right.
And what's the rationale for that?
Right.
That's my question. And that's
Right.
happening right now. It starts with the M13 without due process. It starts with other people who have tattoos without due process. And now it's evolved to throwing out American citizens, people born in this country who are legal, and now they're being thrown out of this country. What's the next step? Somebody
Right.
who is a Democrat gets thrown out? Somebody you don't
Guillermo, he
agree
can't.
with gets thrown out?
I'm sorry.
Where do
Go
we
ahead.
stop? Where
The
do we
question.
stop?
The questions are great. Guillermo and Mike and people are sitting there going, we can bring the kid. Yeah, I'm talking about the children. The children are Americans, Mike. Okay, I'm sorry, Joe. I get worked up when I see this. The children are Americans. Guillermo, they're Americans. The father can't just call up and bring them back. He's going to have to, who knows what he's going to have to go through immigration to bring these 3 kids back here. It isn't going to be that easy, okay? I like that, Kevin. You're right on there. Deporting the illegal parents and putting the kids. I don't think both of them were illegal. 3D, and the kids are Americans. They should be here. One of them's got stage 4 cancer. Think about that. Don't you all see St. Jude? The St. Jude ads on TV all the time with all these kids with stage, 3 and 4 cancer on there that they show that all the time, Joe? That's what we're dealing with. Americans, and one is an American, and we're throwing them out. You bring them back. You bring your kids
Okay, so
back.
can we agree the kids can stay?
Yes, that's all. Good
Okay.
question.
And
Good question.
and the humane thing to do, and I know it sounds moral, but the legal thing to do is you take your time. You call
Right,
the father. You find
right.
a place for the kids to stay.
And
Okay?
let the
You don't
father
just
pick
send
them up.
everybody out of the country, and then of course now there'll be no way to ever get the kids back. There'll be some excuse. The courts
Right,
will rule the kids have to come back. The administration will find some excuse and say,
right,
we can't bring them back. And
right,
so they're gone.
right.
Is
They're
that what you
gone.
voted for? Is that
They're
what you want in this
gone.
country? And
They're
and
gone.
when the weak among us, the children lose their freedom, we all lose our freedom.
Mike, Joe says stage 4 doesn't mean you're dead. Mike's saying stage 4 means you're dead. Is that correct,
It
Joe?
doesn't mean you're dead. No, it means the cancer has spread throughout your body.
But you
And
can
and
still treat it.
sometimes there's effective treatments for it. I have a cousin with stage 4 lung cancer who's on effective treatment, and she's been around for 6 years. So it doesn't necessarily mean a death sentence, but it means you need to get good, effective treatment. You don't just send somebody on their way.
Right. There you go, Mike. Now you got the answer. The man knows. I mean, there we are. Here we go.
I don't know. I'm not
There's
keeping
no-
up with the chat. The chat's flying by. Maybe you can
That's
keep
why
up
I'm
with the
trying
chat.
to jump in while they're there. Are you doctors? Dr. V is Gorilla Balls.
I'm a doctor,
He's
yes.
very, as I said, Dr. V is very well known. Yes. Kevin, Gertie's catfish. I don't know about that. Nickel, it's an event or not. Okay. Well, the narcissists are killing themselves here. There's no question about that.
Well, that's what happens to narcissists. They
That's
get
what
get
happens.
away with it for a while, but eventually it catches up to them. And the first thing about narcissists to keep in mind is that they destroy the people around them, the people who support them. And you can begin to see that, I hate to say it, in the Trump administration, the people who supported the guy
John,
are the ones
Ralph.
suffering the consequences. But eventually it catches up to the narcissists where they lose everyone. So,
It does.
but are we going to
So,
lose the country? I mean,
Mike, I agree.
there was
There's
a famous
no
king.
stage 5. Go ahead.
There's a king called Midas. Everything he touched turned to gold.
Yeah,
We got
right.
the opposite. Somebody's
Yeah.
touching gold and it's turning into crap. That's what's
Well,
happening in this country right now.
we may have a guy who's fiddling as the city burns, named Nero. But that's it. But that's where we are now. Will, you look for mass deportation of American citizens? Please tell us, Will. Please don't tell us that's true. If you voted for that, I'm sad. I can't believe you voted for that, Will. It's now. So, okay. So we've hit that, and I'll come back to it later. We can all do this stuff. We hope to make America great again because it was great. Now we're destroying it because we're still going de-evolution, little snails with little tails. But before we get to our next issue, which is the economy, which is starting to go bubbling down, I thought we'd come up with a quick little musical interlude here quickly, quicker, whatever. And note one thing. I always talk about the album of the week. It takes a couple of minutes. We're going to be going back to the other stuff. Album of the week. And then Joe always thinks, he sends me a mind mail, Pink Floyd, Pink Floyd, Pink Floyd. Well, I want to note something here. I read an article the other day, and the headline was 5 facts about Pink Floyd's, what was the name of the album, your favorite album?
Dark Side of the Moon.
Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah.
I looked at it, I'm going, I know the 5 facts, and I could have written the article. Boring, 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 and boring. And let's remember this about Dark Side of the
Comfortably
Moon.
Numb, the greatest guitar solo of all time.
What
David
rock
Gilmour, are you
album?
kidding me?
What rock album needs an alarm clock to wake
It's
up its listener?
brilliant. The concept is brilliant.
Well, yeah, to put an alarm clock because they know their listeners are falling asleep. Okay, so that's how
They got the
brilliant
heart
it was. Okay,
beating in the background. It's a brilliant album. Brilliant album. You
okay,
just
here we
need to be
go.
able to sit back a little bit
Take a
in
fall
the
asleep.
right frame of mind and let it
James
wave
Taylor.
over you. The feelings that it evokes.
When you need an alarm clock on a quote unquote rock album, it ain't rocking. Okay, that's the real fact. Okay, our first album of this week, one later, everybody, one of my favorites. In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida.
Oh,
Now, let me tell you something. Iron Butterfly.
Yeah,
I don't know how many. It's just a legend in its own because on one side is the song In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, which was originally
What is
called,
it, like 17 minutes long or so?
oh, it was so great. In the Garden of Eden, but they got messed up and they couldn't say it and it came out In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida. The entire song, and it was all a jam. Somebody just happened to be taping and they were jamming. And this was the first long song. And you would hear, I think it was like a 67 or something, or 68.
Yeah.
And you'd hear it on the radio and they cut it to like a 2.5 or 3 minute.
Oh.
Nobody wanted to hear that.
No.
Everybody knew the drum roll.
Yeah. The drum solo is incredible.
Everybody,
please, if you haven't heard it, listen to it. That's a good point.
Put on the headphones. The other side is MOR, which is okay, middle of the road pop. I saw Iron Butterfly in spirit. They were great. At the end, they ended. I don't think they ended. Did they end with In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida? I'm not sure if they did. But I remember he was doing his drum thing, and they had these big fire on each side, and he falls off the drummer like I can't do it anymore. We're all cheering. We know he's not that Alvin. And they have to like help him off. And he's like, it was like James Brown getting helped off when he was doing his shows. And they take the towel and try to James, and then James would just start dancing again. And this guy ran back to the drums. And so I thought this guy was James Brown drummer. I didn't know. It was like crazy. So that was fun. So check out In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida. Listen to it. No ads, no nothing. The original. And it just is In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida. It's just what it did. It was a generational song. Something worth listening to. But the album of the week is coming later. Let's get to the economy. These are some facts that are starting to happen that people are not really talking about that are really happening.
I think Witch Doctor is a little bit, in psychiatry, we call it projection. When you call somebody else something and it's an issue you're dealing with. And again, there's nothing wrong with it, Witch Doctor. I understand if you're a little bit confused about your sexuality. That's fine. You come here. This is a safe space. You can tell us. You can come out. It's okay. It's okay. Nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it.
Cousin, we don't care what we're called. We don't. You see, people do this kind of stuff. This trans community and this and this. We don't care if that's all you can give us. I don't lose sleep over it. Joe doesn't. We have circled the sun so many times. It's hard to get upset over this kind of stuff. Okay,
I understand about projection.
He understands. Joe understands.
The people who have an issue with something have to project it onto other people. That happens. Well, we see it all the time in psychiatry. It's a safe space. You can come out here. No one's going to criticize you. No one's going to judge you. It's okay.
3D. We didn't dodge the draft. I still have my draft card. Luckily, my number wasn't called.
Like the last class to actually be subject to a real draft.
Right. The real draft. The guy who dodged the draft was Donald Trump. Yeah. Getting that thing about his bone spurs from some doctor for 4 or 5 years. That's who walked for the draft. We didn't know anybody. We're in school hoping we're not getting called and going to Vietnam. I mean, that's called like looking in the mirror going, my gosh, I don't see myself with a gun in fatigue shooting Vietnamese. It just didn't make sense. Okay, what a bad war that was. So I'm sorry, we did it, okay? I just love this stuff. I really need to know this. I have not. I don't know. I don't know the deal with the draft now. When you just got drafted. I mean, we had to show up. I had to show up at this place, and
sure,
they were supposedly a doctor there, and he said, "Open your mouth." Oh, you look good. Pass A, and they made you an A. It wasn't fun. We're all like in line, as we get called in for our birthdays, and it was. We were all going. It was all the way out Ricer.
I remember in the quad they had a draft number where they pulled out ping pong balls, whatever, and depending on your birthday, that was your number. Right. People don't remember this stuff, but we were actually subject to the draft.
Right. Let me tell you, I was at WDCV because I was working. I was doing a little DJing, and we were watching it come off the ticker tape, and it came out 80. And they said 80 was going to be the number they were going to call to, up to 80. I'm sitting there, I wanted to cry. I was number 80. So no, we don't dodge the draft. I just didn't get called. Thank you so much. I'm so happy I didn't get called. That's where that was. That Gorilla Balls can't stop. You give him good answers, and then he just has to have some more names and stuff. Okay, let's get into the economy. We said starting in December that we're looking at 5-6 months starting in December, but it's really January. It was December when I saw the medicine cabinets for sale that went up in price for sale. If you remember, Dr. V, I said something's happening already. First sale at this, and then first sale at that. The ships leaving China are like half full. Lots of them are not coming to America. All the port people are seeing that they're not coming in because of the tariffs, and it's getting sent away from us. People are not flying into America to vacation. Americans are going to their country, but they're not coming here. You know what's so funny about that, Dr. V? The Trump administration talks about wanting to cut down on the trade deficit, right? But if we're all flying over there and spending our money over there, but they're not coming here. I just think that makes the trade deficit bigger, doesn't it? So it's another great move on the part of the Trump administration.
Yeah.
So you see that going. Amazon has said they're already, I think they sent a letter out to a lot of their vendors saying, you've got to hold the line on numbers. You can't pay. You can't charge certain things. And they're talking, I was hearing some of these vendors are talking to, or people who are selling it online there. They say, we're going to have to raise the price. We can't get away from raising the price. And they're already starting to see it. So you see all this starting to come down. As this is happening, I think we're just a month or two away from really seeing the numbers start to hit, because you're not going to have much inventory. Trump has got to make a deal, some type of deal. You got Japan and South Korea. What's so hard to make a deal with them? We give them their defense. We've been their friends for so long. We gave Japan a constitution. We helped give South Korea a constitution. Two great countries. They really are. Look what happened in South Korea. You had a president who tried to declare martial law. He got thrown out. He lost because of that. I mean, a great country, South Korea. I love South Korea.
Absolutely, yeah.
And Japan, just good friends, great country. And if we can't make a deal with them, we're really in trouble. And I'll tell you this, there was not, I agree with you there, Ralph. There is not, Cheech and Chong were funny in their day, Random. It's like, Ralph and Herbie was one of my favorite, by the way. And Bob's not here. Eric Jungle. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Eric. Oh, Jungle. Stop it, Eric. Stop it, Eric. It's going to take time to get the U.S. 4 years, Greg. All this money they say they're bringing in, you're right. All this money they say they're bringing in to build manufacturing, to do it. I don't see it. It didn't happen when Trump was here last time he was president. He said it was going to be all this manufacturing. Hardly anything came. And if it does, it's going to be done by robots. That's the point. So who do you mind having robots here or somewhere else? It's not going to do anything for us. It's not going to give people jobs, maybe some jobs to tinker on the robots, robot fixers. That's who we'll have, robot fixers. We'll have software people. And that's what it's going to be. Okay? That's right where it's going to be. Ralph, history matters. That's part of the problem in America. Everybody says STEM, 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 STEM. I'm tired of science and math and all that. Problem in America is we don't know our history. We don't know our history. And people can talk, and people don't know what the Constitution is. People don't know what the Bill of Rights is. They don't know who most of our presidents were. They don't know most of this stuff. They don't understand history. They ask them questions about the Civil War, and they get questions wrong there. I mean, how can you get that wrong? They ask them questions about World War II. They don't understand. You got to teach history. If you don't teach history, that's one thing the Kremlin does, and that's something that that Putin's pushing strong, is the kids, I mean, he's dressing them all military uniforms, which is horrible, but the kids are being taught Russian military history. They're making them all military to make them all militaristic like he is. But they're learning their history, so they're patriotic when they're growing up. When I grew up, I think you were the same way. I learned songs about George Washington. I learned about Abe Lincoln. I had a big Lincoln stovepipe hat. I knew most of the presidents. We had to memorize the presidents. We had to talk about all this stuff. It's so different now. Nobody knows American history.
The school system. So I've been talking about the universities, but if you look at the school system in general, it's not very good. And sometimes the MAGA folks have a point that history should not be anti-American. Should not point out all the faults of our previous presidents. And it's important to understand the context of how these great men were also men, and they had their weaknesses. They did things that weren't perfect, and that's okay, but they still did some great things. So it is important that you take the whole picture, and you just don't point out all the problems that our forefathers brought forth. So
3D. It's 3D. Our generation was so bad that we lead the world in technology. Our generation is so bad that this country had the best military in the world. 3D. Our generation did all this. I mean, not the kids under us also, but we led through it. We have a pretty good generation. Sorry. And let me tell you, Daniel, a lot of historical facts judge the U.S. harshly, and that's the truth. And anybody who's heard me talk about it, but I think what Joe's talking about is what I had a problem with our history is really we were only talking specific little pieces of history. Nobody was really going in learning history. Does anybody know about the French and Indian Wars? Does anybody know about the War of 1812? Does that, you know what I'm saying? Does anybody know about the American-Mexican War, the Spanish-American War? Does anybody know about any of this stuff? No. That's what I'm talking about. We don't know. You know some stuff about the Civil War. You hear about the Revolution. They like to say George Washington's an enslaver, and that's about all you hear,
There's
okay?
a lot to be proud about our
We have a
history.
whole lot to be proud about. And incredible. I've always said that because what's so great about this country, and that's why I love our history so much, is that, yeah, we messed up. We messed up big, but we always tried to correct it. We always tried to come back. It's the word morals that Joe likes to talk
Exactly.
about. We
Freedom,
always tried. We
democracy,
always, right. We always
understand
say it.
and care for other human beings, and
Right, right,
equality. That's what
right,
our morals, that's what we stood up for. And as
right.
Winston Churchill once said, you Americans do everything wrong until eventually they wind up doing the right thing.
When it
And
gets bad. Right.
we don't always do the right thing, but eventually we come around to the right thing. And I'm fearful right now we're not doing that, and we're losing this country. And that's why I'm here. That's why we have a voice to try and get the message out and to wake people up of what's happening. And it's not that we're against MAGA. It's not that we're against a lot of the principles that Trump has identified. I think he's a brilliant politician. He knows people's weak points. He knows where there's something going on that he can exploit, but he's not interested in solving the problem. He's not interested in solving the problem of the border. He's using that as an excuse to have power over people. He's not interested in that the universities were soft with the demonstrations for the Palestinian demonstrations and how they showed some anti-Semitism. It's a valid point, but you don't take away people's grants because they reacted in a weak way to certain demonstrations. He looks at the weak points that people have and he exploits them, not to solve the issue that he's pointing out. He's exploiting that to demonstrate power, and that's what's wrong. And you're right. You were seeing in the economy, these tariffs were just applied in a very non-discriminate way, not to solve the issue of trade imbalances, but to show power over other countries that we could do it and that they need to come back crawling on their knees to kiss his rear end to have a deal. And he's discovering
Right,
that
Ralph.
people don't do that. They're not going to do that. They're not going to come back crawling on their knees, and we're the ones who are really going to suffer from it. And so we see it in the educational system. We see it uh, with immigration, and now we're seeing it in the judicial system is being attacked. All the guardrails that we have to protect democracy are systematically being attacked. Well, what was it? There was a judge arrested. A judge arrested.
And they made allegations that she was helping a guy, the illegal alien, out the door. But then they say that the ICE was in the elevator with the guy. We're going to have to hear the facts. They're just looking to set everything up because the man wants to run the country. Totally. He's just pushing everything. We've said it from the beginning. Trump doesn't care about the law. He just doesn't. To him, he's the executive. Everything's the executive. You voted for him. But that's why we have to teach history, Joe, because people don't understand that it was set up so that the executive could be a strong executive in war and stuff, but that we had a judiciary, we had a legislature. The legislature was supposed to represent the people. The Senate was supposed to cool the passions of the people. I love history, man.
The Bill of
American
Rights.
history.
The Bill of
And and and
Rights.
and and the Senate was supposed to cool the passions of the people, even though the House was coming up. Together they were supposed to run the budget. The judiciary is supposed to make decisions about what's constitutional and what isn't, and the president's supposed to enact and be a representative of the people. That's what people don't understand any longer. They don't know what a constitution is. That's why history has to be taught. Yeah, we had slavery. It was horrible. So did the rest of the world. We had a war over it. We lost hundreds of thousands of Americans over it. It was horrible. And then we blew it for another 100 years with Reconstruction, which was the biggest fake out of all time. And it was horrible. But then it changed. JFK was killed. LBJ came in. They decided civil rights in the name of JFK. America turns it. We have to look at what's bad to realize what's good. If everything's good, you don't know what's bad. That's part of what the problem has been. We were living great in this country. The top economy in the world, the best military in the world, the best democracy in the world, and all we got so used to, and that's what people do. Oh, life's too good, so it ain't too good. It's horrible. I'm going to complain about this. I'm going to complain about that. That's what went on. So we tear our own country up. We take our great country, and we tear it up because it's just too good. And then we elect the guy who can only tear things up. Everybody forgets the first term. I don't know why they never talked about it in the ads. Hundreds of thousands of people died when Trump was president. Remember that, okay? How did he deal with that? So you look at what's going on now. All he wants to do is shake things up, destroy it, come in and say, I've now saved everything. See, it got bad. So now I'm going to save everything because I'm Donald Trump. And I haven't been asking, but please, Adam, just get, I'm sorry, Adam. You're just a waste of time here.
You may have to remove Adam. He's
I'm sorry.
not adding anything to the conversation.
Nothing at all. Okay. I'm sorry. That's just what it is. I'm sorry, Adam. I just can't put up with it. And so you sit there, and that's what's going on with this kind of stuff. And it makes you wonder. It just makes you wonder about people. And they don't. And that's why you have to learn history. You have to learn America. You have to learn what it is and who it is and what we are and what we want to be, and then go from it. And by the way, which I haven't done in a long time here, please give us a thumbs up. We love your thumbs up. We appreciate your comments. We think your comments are great. Please go to Just an American Citizen and subscribe. I don't ask that often, but I'm willing to ask. Please go in there and subscribe, and please go into Dr. V. Joe Talks. He's got his Harvard video. No, he doesn't have his Harvard video up there. I thought he had his Harvard. I thought you just shook your head. No.
No, it's up there. What I'm shaking my head is I thought it was going to bring all these subscribers. I don't
because
have
we hadn't talked
like one
about
subscriber.
That's why we're pushing it. So we now have Joe up there talking at Harvard. Were you at Harvard? So now, but our friends may not like you.
I was accepted at Harvard, actually, but
our friends may not like you too much after that. But so you have that. So please subscribe. The man needs subscribers. I need more too. I'd like to hit 5,000 one day, but I appreciate the amount I have. I appreciate our subscribers. I appreciate all of you. You guys are great. So here we go. Trump's going to Harvard. It's not a matter of Harvard. Let me tell you, Trump thought he was a Ivy, didn't he?
He went to subscribe.
What?
Guillermo's going to subscribe.
Yes.
Makes my day. Thank you.
Yes. Go for it, Guillermo.
Thank you, Guillermo.
I tried hard for you, Dr. V. I try hard for you.
You did.
We love Guillermo Lopez. Yes, we do. And Spartacus, our buddy, and all of our other buddies. So,
do you know who Candace Owen is?
Yeah, she's super right wing.
Trump's gone too far for her now.
Right.
She's done.
They know
she's done.
You can't take over schools. You just can't come in. You wanted to deal with anti-Semitism and however you wanted to do it, fine. But you can't come in and say, I'm going to pick the teachers. I'm going to pick the courses. I'm going to teach you how to run the courses and do all that. In fact, isn't that what people are rebelling against in public schools around the country? They're going, I want to be able to have a say in what my kids are being taught. I don't want from up high telling them how to teach them. I don't want the trans books. Isn't that what the big case was in Virginia that's coming up there? That's what they were saying. I don't want trans books. I don't want people up high telling me what to do, right? Well, here you got Trump coming in and doing that exact same thing with the colleges, cutting off money and saying, I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do and how we're going to do it, okay? And you don't want somebody to do that. Trump, he didn't cut DOE, Department of Energy. Oh, I don't care. Gorilla balls. Let me tell you this. So we've only had $150 billion from Elon Musk. He's given up on the 2 trillion. Remember that, Joe? He's
Yeah,
given up on
yeah.
the 2 trillion.
What a waste that's
Those,
been.
I'm
What a
thinking DOE, right? It's what a
I mean,
joke
we
that was.
we said it in the beginning. You don't take a hacksaw, whatever, to something to try and solve the issue. If you have a
Right.
rash, you diagnose it and you give the right medicine and you fix it. You don't just cut off your arm. And that's what
Right.
he tried to do. Complete failure. Complete failure. So now he
Complete and
has to go back to
absolute.
Tesla that's tanking.
And they're having issues.
Great.
And but
Again,
if he's
anything that
smart,
Trump touches turns to crap. He's
yeah,
touched Elon Musk and turned him to crap. It's
yeah, but what's
terrible.
going to happen, Joe? What's going to happen here is Musk is too smart. He's going to get quiet. He's going to go behind the scenes. He'll have meetings with all these people around the world because Trump will help him set it up because he's going to pump money into Trump like he always does. And he'll come out of it okay if he's smart. I think the man's a genius. Maybe he doesn't have common sense, but that's what I would do. I think because that's what this administration is. It's who you know and what you know. It's you're going to sell before Trump says something, and you're going to buy after Trump says something. I mean, I'm wondering, the market's been getting ready, been going up. I don't believe in the market, for politics, but it's been going up, and they're saying, well, there's going to be a deal. What if there's no deal? You can see what it would do. It had no deal. Let it go down for a couple of days, and it'll announce a deal with Japan and South Korea. It'll be perfect, and then it'll go back up. It's the same game going on everywhere. Okay. Yeah,
Elon
Andrew,
Musk did
hundreds of
not
billions.
save
Andrew,
hundreds of billions of dollars.
it was only 150 he says he can get, and Al Gore got almost that much, and that was in the 90s. That's nothing.
That's an
Getting
example of taking
150
it
billion.
systematically.
Well, wait a second, Joe. Wait a second.
But
All the inspector generals found more money than that.
yeah,
The inspector generals from these individual areas found more money than the 150 billion. So Elon Musk found nothing, and who knows how much he found? Because remember this. Let's use an example, because Joe can talk about this better than I can. If you stop research and then you say, wow, I decide I got to start it up again, doesn't it cost a whole lot more to get the testing going again, to bring in the patients? Don't you have to start from the beginning
yeah,
because
yeah.
you've lost all the recordings, everything you could get, and the results? That's the problem. So it must cost you more than he cost you by cutting, because then he came in and found there were problems and they couldn't do it. Did you also see Social Security? People are so afraid that they're running in taking minimum Social Security now. Did you see that? They're not
That's
waiting.
unbelievable.
65 or whatever the number is, in the door. They're all coming in and taking it. And they're the ones they're talking to are going, I don't know if it's going to be around. So I better get on there now, because if the computer collapses or something happens and I can't get on the phone, I want to get my money now. I mean, wow. Think about what's going on in this country, okay? Think of O'Leary isn't even an American. So don't waste my time with Mr. Wonderful, who was on TV like he's the man in his robe and everything on some interview. Great. Okay. He's a real genius. So he made a lot of money. Trump, yeah, Trump's totally wrong. And Elon knows he was wrong, my friend, because really, Cali girl, how am I lying about 3 Americans thrown out? Now, Cali girl, I want you to come back to me and Joe and show us how we're lying about talking about 3 American children thrown out of America. Now, we'll be waiting for that. Pronoun boys. Yeah, we're Phi-Eps. We're
Yeah,
not Beta. Beta was next door. We're Phi-Eps, guys. We
exactly.
don't care. We're not
That's
Machis.
our Greek
That's
letters.
it. Right. We're not Theta Chi's. We're not geeks. we're Phi-Eps. You want to call us betas or
They
whatever it
must be
is.
talking about the SAEs now. They're back to the
Too much.
SAEs.
Yeah, it's just absolutely too much. So you just look at this and you just see this. It's just absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Love the projection going on.
There's a whole lot going on. There's a whole lot going on. So
A
you
lot of
sit
good
there,
discussion.
I'm sorry, just a lot of discussion. Look at this gutter roof. Come on, you're not true. This person's not true.
You know what I love seeing in the chat is that I see people speaking up for America now. I feel that people are waking up and are fighting back, and they're not going to take this anymore. They can see what's happening to this country. They can see that we're losing democracy, we're losing freedom, we're losing equality, and we're losing a sense of humanity. And that's not what this country is founded on. And that's Those have been the core principles since the birth of this country, and people are worried that we're losing them. And they are going to go away unless we stand up and fight for it. But I sense that people are waking up and are fighting for that now.
Right. It's crazy. It's crazy. Okay. I just sit there and
Democracy,
go,
right. There you go, Adam.
what Adam? Adam came up.
Adam
We
says
woke up.
democracy. Let's
I'm with it.
let's fight for
Hey,
democracy.
I,
Absolutely.
I just, the bottom line is it's like, here we go. It's
Yeah,
like,
we do need to figure out how to make people mods.
I'm,
We
I'm,
don't know
I'm
how to
doing,
do it.
I'm doing things. I just don't know what to do.
We got to make.
I'm hitting a whole bunch. I'm trying to get gutter in the other, but I ain't worrying about. I mean, it doesn't matter. So I mean, well, people just have to ignore these people sometimes and go, "That's what it is." Look, we've been a big believer in democracy. My channel is Just an American Citizen with a big flag in the back. It's been there for like 12 years. Do I care? I love this country. This is a great country. I go right on. In fact, please subscribe to Just an American Citizen and then roll over and join Guillermo Lopez today and subscribe to Joe Talks. I'm sorry, Dr. V. Joe Talk presents Joe Talks.
We need to put a link in there. People can't find it. You couldn't find it. I couldn't find. I tried to Google it.
That's pretty weak. That's pretty weak when you can't find
YouTube won't let people find it.
it. There must be a reason for that. There must be a reason for that. Call Cali girl. You didn't answer my question. During Hillary Obama and Sleepy Joe, nobody was thrown out. Tell me what's going on, okay? Andrew, North Korea is a joke, and we lost a lot of people over there. Cali girl's just, I don't know what you're patiently waiting for. We're patiently waiting for facts from you, Cali girl. Okay? 3 American kids were thrown out of America. 1 has stage 4 cancer. Shush, and Adam, how many inches is your forehead? It depends, JF, because every day I lose more hair, so the inches get bigger and bigger. So I'm afraid to measure because every day there's more hair coming out in the shower. I don't know what else to do. So I don't know what these guys are writing here. So I'm lost on all those. So I don't care. Saul, I'm with you. Democracy is great. It's great if you don't throw Americans out. Oh, here we go. You see, Cali girl? She can't give an answer. We really appreciate people coming in, but give us an answer. Here we go.
I don't even see Cali
Here
girl.
we
I
go.
think you got rid of Cali girl for all of us except you.
Yeah, Cali girl ain't that bad, but she's just not coming up with answers. I don't mind Cali girl, but she's just not coming up with answers. You're saying things, but you're not coming up with answers. I just don't understand. Yeah. Well. Let me tell you, Chipotle. I don't know if that's true. Our economy is in trouble. We've been saying it for a while. Semper Fi, okay. Adam's starting again. Kamala loss, okay. Well, who's thinking about that? Of course, we know that. And meow. We got cats now. Chipotle Thunderbird's a cat. Did you see that, Dr. V? He said meow. He's a cat. Chipotle Thunderbird. Here we have that then. And we have, now we got somebody talking about Grindr and stuff. Okay, everybody's having a good time. Let's remember something that's really going on, and we keep coming back to it. We are living in de-evolution, guys. We are de-evolving. We're going backwards to snails with little tails. And that's where we are, and we're no more than that, because when we throw the United States citizens out of America, then we're in big trouble. Kids, let's see what Trump does. Let's see what MAGA does. Let's see how Fox responds to this. 3 American kids, 1 with stage 4 cancer, thrown out by our president of the United States. Now, let's get to our album of the week. Now, as you all know, I had a little bit of fun with our first one, which was just Inagata Divina, which is still one of the greatest albums, at least the great songs. It's a half side of an album. It's another group. They kind of look back on their history, and they're not happy with some of the videos they did because they think they got too dressy, or back then it was more sensual and everything with the videos, but the music was incredible. And I happen to love Heart. Okay, I've seen Heart 3 times. They were just excellent each time. This is Dreamboat Annie with so much good music on it. Here they are. Look at all these. Ann and Nancy. Look at these guys. Incredible. Ann had a voice. It's just incredible voice. Nancy could play pretty good guitar. They had the guys behind them. I always love it. The women that are rockers had the guys behind them. Janice had the guys behind them. Hart had the guys behind them. Joan Jett's got the guys behind them. This group was it. But look at this. Magic Man. You all know Magic. She's a magic man. Little guitar there. Dreamboat Annie. Everybody knows Dreamboat Annie. Crazy on you. Just song after song. Then Dreamboat Annie. How deep we go. Dreamboat Annie. Again, look. Once again. 20 minutes. Look at these women. They could sing and they could play rock. It doesn't matter. Good looking, bad looking. They happen to be good looking, but who cares? This is music, baby. These guys played great rock. These women played great rock. Get this album, Dreamboat Annie, 1976.
Yeah,
We
Yolo
just
is
come out of
right. She
college.
did the best cover of Stairway to Heaven.
Nancy did,
You
right?
have to look that up on YouTube right
Was
after
that
this.
Nancy or Ann?
I thought it was
Which
Nancy.
Nancy
Stairway
plays
to
the
Heaven.
guitar. Nancy plays the guitar and sings. Which one did it?
Then it was Ann.
Ann was singing, and who
Yeah.
played guitar?
No, it was a
No,
sing. She
who
was
played
singing.
guitar? Who played guitar? Was it Jimmy Page or somebody who played guitar?
No. They were being honored at the Kennedy Arts Center.
So Ann and Nancy played.
Maybe they were both in there. That could be.
Oh, okay.
They had Bonham's son doing the drums. Fantastic. Best version of Stairway to Heaven.
Maybe
Kennedy
second best.
honors. Listen.
Maybe second best. And
no,
I wonder if Trump would have.
The best. I'm telling you.
I wonder
they had Led Zeppelin crying in the audience.
Because they're
Please,
old guys.
look it up.
I cry too. I'm old. I listen to the old music. I cry. I go, I was young once. I'm sure it was great. I love Ann and Nancy. I love Hart. But yeah, I'm an old guy. When I hear some of the old music, I get a little tear every now and then and go, my God, I look at a picture. I had hair. I had mutton chop sideburns. I was in great shape.
Yolo is absolutely right. Listen now if you can. I agree with Yolo.
What?
Yolo in the chat says, listen to that. I agree with that.
I will listen. I think I've heard it.
Kennedy Center, before Trump took over, they had a big tribute to Led Zeppelin. Hart was in there. Fantastic version of Stairway to Heaven.
Right. Okay, I'm going to listen to it. 3D. The hippie generation got us here with the music, my friend. We had great music, incredible music. We had Pablo. We didn't even talk about men, women's sports. I love that stuff. Johnny Boy's back. Well, then, okay, Johnny Boy, but bring the kids back. Bring the kids back. I'm saying it again. Bring the kids back. Join me, Joe. Bring the kids back.
Absolutely. Bring them back.
I'm not worried about that.
And Trump will back down. We know he blinks. If there's enough public opinion on something, he will blink.
Right.
Let's show him we can make him blink.
Well, it's not that. This is courts now. The question is, does he want to bend to the truth, to the real? Bring the kids back. That should be the bottom line here. Bring the kids back. Okay? We love Erica. We love it. Okay? We're back on Wednesday at 5 p.m. And one thing we do say, if you're square, we won't be there.
We're not there.
But we're not there. But we want to see you Wednesday at 5. We appreciate everybody coming on. You guys are great. Listen to Iron Butterfly and the God of the Vida, our album of the week. Let us know. I got other albums, but I'm only up through like the new wave, okay? Hearts, Dreamboat Annie, get this. Listen, it can only put a smile on your face because when you're thinking about us and you go, you turn on the music, you go, hey, at least they're really good. And remember this, the 5 facts we all know about Pink Floyd. Boring.
Great guitar, great lyrics.
Boring with the only alarm clock in the supposed
music,
rock
creative.
album. We love you. And I love
band.
my man. I love my man, Joe. Please.
Love you, Mark.
Subscribe to Just an American Citizen. Subscribe to Dr. V. Joe Talks. And call us out, Joe. That's the way
it is. Period.
And we'll see you guys on Wednesday. Thanks for coming.